I'm well aware that the hat that I'm wearing doesn't really match the jersey, but it's as close as you can get. So I want to wear the original, as I call it, the Space Coyote. And yeah, so let's get into the preview for tomorrow's games because they start early. There are 4 early games. Hockey Day in America, right? So we have early games tomorrow. We have early games Sunday too. So Saturday night late, I'll be doing the preview for Sunday's games as well. Apologies again, the bell, the notification, all of that wonderful stuff that I mentioned last night when Calgary decided, let's fire him now. Yeah, we'll do it now. All right, so starting at 1 o'clock Eastern, 1 in the afternoon Eastern, not 1 in the morning Eastern, and 10 a.m. Pacific. Here, we got 3 games starting. First off, the Rangers in against the Devils. The Rangers now 9-9-3. The Devils 7-10-2. The Devils have still won 2 out of 3 against the Rangers, but the Rangers pretty commandingly won that last game. So over their last 10, the Rangers 5-4-1, New Jersey 3-7. So New Jersey's definitely fallen off the pace. Lafreniere, 4 goals and 3 assists for him. He's starting to get it together. And Lindgren, 9 assists. I tried to pick a young forward and a young defenseman for every team on the board. Hughes for New Jersey, 5 goals, 8 assists. Smith on the blue line, 2 goals and 9 assists. So while, yes, things have started to kind of crumble for the Devils, there are still some good young players in this roster, and things are looking up. Also at 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific, the Buffalo Sabres in against the New York Islanders. Buffalo is absolutely going in the wrong direction. They're 6-12-3. The Islanders are 13-6-4. The Islanders have won all 4 meetings with Buffalo so far this year. They love playing Buffalo. Buffalo over their last 10, 2-7-1. So if you feel like it seems like Buffalo's just bad, yeah. And the opposite record for the Islanders, who are 7-2-1 over their last 10. So Dylan Cousins, 3 goals, 1 assist. 1 assist. I don't need to pluralize that. Not Squirrely Dan. So, yeah, Cousins with the 4 points thus far. And Dahlin, 1 goal, 8 assists for him. We're still waiting for that light switch to turn on for some of these young players for Buffalo. On the Islanders side, Wallstrom's definitely flipped that switch. 4 goals, 4 assists for him so far. And Dobson, 2 goals and 7 assists. Noah Dobson. Last year, it feels like it was worth it now, doesn't it? Because he's really taken that step this year. So it feels like what he went through last year was worth it. Easing him into the lineup, letting him be a healthy scratch and learn systems seems to have helped him this year. And then the final game starting at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 o'clock Eastern. And I've already got the board set for these 4 games because I know when I get up in the morning, I just have the board done the night before. Philadelphia in against Pittsburgh. Philadelphia now 12-5-3. Pittsburgh 12-9-1. Philadelphia is 3-1 against Pittsburgh, and they can really put the screws to their state rival. And they love to do that, you know. Over their last 10 now, Philadelphia is 5-3-2. Over their last 10, Pittsburgh 6-4. So Pittsburgh is above 500 over their last 10, but they're still losing ground on some of the other teams in their division, in part because this division is fantastic. Buffalo, Rangers, New Jersey, all of them likely looking at next year. But the other 5 teams, one of them's going to miss, and it's going to be tough. Nolan Patrick, 2 goals, 3 assists so far for Philadelphia. The offense hasn't really been there. The important thing is Patrick's playing the games. That's the most important thing, that he's playing the games and he's not out. Provorov, 2 goals, 7 assists. Hey, they don't have a ton of really young defensemen, so I threw Provorov on the board. Teddy Bluger, 3 goals, 8 assists for the Pittsburgh Penguins. He's been providing more offense than might have been expected before the season started. And John Marino, slow start offensively, 3 assists, but he's been making some good defensive plays in recent games. And then an hour later, 2 o'clock p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific time, Florida, 14-4-4 in against the Nashville Predators, who are now 10-13, and Florida's won 2 out of 3 against the Nashville Predators. Florida's 6-2-2 in their last 10. Florida's 5-5, or Nashville's 5-5. And this is where that 500 record becomes a problem. Where you say, well, we're winning every other game. Right. And if you're below 500, it means you're getting further away from the playoffs and your odds of making it. They have to go on a run, and they kind of need to do it now. Lamico, 2 goals so far for Florida. Lamico is not going to be on the score sheet a lot, but he is providing some very key bottom 6 minutes for the Florida Panthers. Ekblad's been fantastic. Wanted him in this video and to mention him here. 8 goals, 7 assists. His goal scoring's been fantastic. and defensively, he's definitely improved. Tolvanen, 3 goals, 1 assist on Nashville. We'll see if he gets on the board. And Fabro, 2 goals, 6 assists. He's going to be counted upon while there's injuries, like the Ellis injury, so we'll see if his numbers come up as a result. And then we have a 5-hour delay between these 4 and the other ones. So, again, I will review these 4 as a video of their own, and then the other 8 will be later that night, which means I actually get the review done. It's a little bit easier for me to do the review later. So, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific, there's only 3 games on. So this is actually easier for me to keep track of everything than it was on Tuesday or Thursday. This is how it works now. Saturday used to be my crazy day, and now it's kind of like, oh, there's 12 games on, but I can do this. So the first one we're going to look at is Winnipeg and Montreal. And Winnipeg loves playing Montreal, apparently. They're 3-0 against the Habs. 15-7-1 on the season. Montreal's 10-6-6 over their last 10. Winnipeg 7-3. Montreal 2-4-4. Those 4 overtime loss points, key. They just don't win in overtime, and it's starting to really hurt them. Appleton, 6 goals, 6 assists. He's been fantastic for Winnipeg so far this year. Pionk, 3 goals, 14 assists for Pionk. He's taken last year, which looked like it might be a career year for him, and he's eclipsed it. Suzuki, 5 goals, 11 assists. The offense isn't where it was at the start of the season. If Montreal's really and truly going to turn this around, Suzuki and Kotkaniemi have to be major parts of it. Romanov, a goal and 4 assists for him. I'm surprised there aren't more points. I think it'll eventually happen, but we'll see. Also starting at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific. This is early for a game in Vancouver, but they're at home against Toronto, and there's no fans in attendance, so it doesn't really matter when the game starts. 18-5-2 is the record for the Leafs. 10-15-12 is the record for Vancouver. Toronto's won 3 out of 4. Vancouver did win the most recent game. Toronto is 7-2-1 in their last 10. Vancouver's 4-4-2. Same thing I said about Nashville. You look at the record and go, well, 4-4-2 in their last 10 isn't awful, right? But when you're already at 4 games below that magical 500 number, as people throw around, it's not good enough. Winning every other game is not good enough. Thornton, because I'm picking young guys, I picked Joe Thornton here. 13 games, 3 goals, 8 assists, 11 points, because he seems rejuvenated as a member of the Toronto Maple Leafs. And Hall, 1 goal, 7 assists on the blue line. Yes, Hall's been very good. I think he gets overhyped at times, but that happens because he's playing in Toronto. So you're going to get guys who are overhyped and then guys who are overcriticized, named William Nylander. Höglander, speaking of Landers, Höglander, 4 goals, 6 assists for the Canucks. And Quinn Hughes, 2 goals, 20 assists. We won't get into the plus-minus. Yes, it's been a rough year for him defensively, but the offense has been great. And defensively, that's something that it feels like they're going to have to work at in the offseason. They just don't have the practice time now to really fix these things. They have played more games than everybody else in the NHL. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific as well. Minnesota, 13-7-1 now, in against the 10-10-3 Arizona Coyotes. And this is as must-win as you can get for Arizona. They kind of all are now. You look at their last 10. Look at that. 7-2-1 record for Minnesota. 4-4-2 record for Arizona. And that divide shows up, right? Because that means that over the last 10 games, Minnesota's gained 5 points on the Arizona Coyotes. Kaprizov, 6 goals, 11 assists, has been a revelation. And I understand, like, when people say, well, he's older than the other rookies. Right, but he's still really good. Fabian Brunstrom, remember him? He came over and there's all this hype and then nope. So when a guy lives up to the hype, it's still a big deal. Jonas Brodin, 3 goals, 8 assists for him, 11 points. Been very solid for them on the blue line. On the Arizona side, Keller, 8 goals, 8 assists. And Chychrun continues amazing season. 5 goals, 11 assists, 16 points for him. Sky's the limit. And he would definitely get some consideration for the Norris, if not for having played in Arizona. Doesn't get the attention. OEL has had some great seasons that were overlooked because he plays for the Coyotes. Then an hour later, we get 2 more games started. So again, it's not an overly busy night. Columbus in against Dallas. Columbus now 10-10-5. Dallas 6-8-4. Their season is very quickly slipping away. Columbus is 2-1 against Dallas now after the victory the other night. Over their last 10, Columbus is 3-5-2. That's not very good. Dallas is 1-6-3. That's not very gooder. That's more not very good than Columbus. So there. If you can't laugh about your team having a struggle, and teams that I cheer for, 2 or 3 are having major struggles right now, if I couldn't have a chuckle about it, this would be the most miserable job I've ever had. So, Roslovic, okay, maybe not. Roslovic, 18 games, gotta be honest. Roslovic, 18 games, 5 goals, 9 assists, 14 points. He's been fantastic for Columbus. The scoring's off from where it was at the beginning, but he wasn't going to keep that up. He wasn't going to be a point-a-game guy. And then Gabriel Carlson, 7 games, 1 goal, 2 assists on the blue line. On the Dallas side, Kivi Ranta, who is thrown on the taxi squad. And I don't know how many games he's going to get into this year. 9 games, 2 goals, 1 assist. I think there was a lot of hype around Kivi Ranta, and I don't think he can live up to it. He's got some skill, but I don't see the player that I think a lot of people had expected after that explosion that he showed not too long ago. So again, I think it's just a matter of adjusting expectations, and playing in Dallas doesn't help your offense. Ask Matthias Janmark. Heiskanen, 1 goal, 9 assists on the blue line. And I don't mention Janmark to be facetious, just Janmark 7 goals already. He only had 6 last year for Dallas. There definitely is an issue with Dallas when it comes to creating offense. And the fact that they went 10 periods between goals makes that even more apparent. 8 o'clock Eastern as well, 5 o'clock Pacific. Anaheim's going to try again. Anaheim's now 6-12-6. They're in against Colorado again. 13-7-1 is Colorado's record. They've won 2 out of 3 against Anaheim, but Anaheim's shown they can hang with them. And they got close tonight. That game could have gone the other way. In their last 10, though, Anaheim has won 6-3. It's been a miserable dive for Anaheim. And Colorado is 6-4. So while it hasn't been Colorado setting the world on fire, they are 13-7-1. They look pretty comfortably in a playoff spot right now. Lundestrom, 5 goals. Let's see if he gets an assist. Larson on the blue line, 2 assists. Let's see if he gets a goal. Maybe Larson scores from Lundestrom. There you go. For tomorrow, that's my prediction. Brandon Saad, 7 goals, 6 assists. He got on the board tonight. And Girard has been fantastic on the blue line. 4 goals, 11 assists for Girard. I can't say enough good things about Samuel Girard. Might be my favorite member of that blue line. The fact that he steps up when you've got Makar out, you got Byram out, you've got McKinnon out. Like there's so many players that are out, and he's just doing what he has to do. And so kudos to him. And then an hour later at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific, the LA Kings play the Blues again. This is the 6th matchup. And LA's won 3 out of 5. But St. Louis with that big comeback win tonight. Let's see if tomorrow night they come out and they really punch it up, because they got to feel like they got away with one tonight. St. Louis is 14-8-2. The LA Kings are 9-8-5 over their last 10. St. Louis is 6-4. LA's 6-2-2. It's a bit of an over. The record doesn't really show you how LA's been playing over the last, I'll say, 5 games. Yes, they're 6-2-2 in their last 10, but over their last 5, they've started getting back into some bad habits and started showing some of that we don't play well with the lead kind of stuff. Kyrou, 8 goals, 12 assists. He continues to be an amazing story for St. Louis. Mikkola, who you're not going to hear much about when I do reviews, but while he doesn't have a point yet this year, he's always prominent when he's out there, and I think he does a good job, and I think he's going to grow into being a really solid top 6 performer for St. Louis. I don't know what the cap is for his career, how high up he can go in their rankings, but I think he's a solid defenseman and shows they develop defensemen very well. LA side of things, Kempe, who had to feel like he should have had at least more than what he had tonight. 5 goals and 8 assists. Maybe he gets a goal tomorrow. Bjorn fought 10 games, 2 assists so far. I think he's been decent. We'll see how many games he gets this year and what kind of ice time he ends up with at the end of the year, especially if LA does end up completely out of this, which, I mean, it was going to be a tough climb for them anyways, but the recent games have, again, pulled them too far back of those top 4 teams to really see them as a huge threat. Calgary then will be playing against Edmonton. This starts at 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific, so there's just the 1 game here, 1 game here. So there's a nice separation between these games. 11-11-2 Calgary, who will have Ryan Huska behind the bench. And Edmonton 14-11. Edmonton's won 2 out of 3 in this Battle of Alberta. No pressure on the coach that's waiting for Darryl Sutter, but you have the Battle of Alberta this weekend, and it's going to feel like the season's on the line. Calgary's 4-5-1 over their last 10. There's a reason the coach was replaced. Vancouver's 4-4-2. I'm not mentioning that for any reason at all. LA's down here. Edmonton is 6-4 in their last 10. So if they can win against Calgary and get this on the road to a respectable record, then we can just forget all about those 3 games against Toronto. They wish they could. That's my guess. Byron Ritchie, he's been good. 3 games, 1 goal, 1 assist so far for Ritchie. Brett Ritchie. Old name I'll just throw out there. But yeah, Brett Ritchie, good start. 3 games, 1 goal, 1 assist, 2 points. Valimaki, 1 goal and 6 assists for him. I'd like to remind you too that it's about 11:30 p.m. my time. And so my brain's kind of, after I do a review, my brain kind of goes, okay, so you're done for the night. And it shuts down. And then like the coaching video I did last night, it took me 4 takes to get that done. And it was a 5-minute video. 4 takes before I stopped screwing up. Puljujarvi, 6 goals, 3 assists for him so far this year. And he's been a positive for Edmonton at a time where they needed that from him. And Bear with 2 assists so far in 13 games. And we'll see how things go for the Oilers and the Flames tomorrow night. It feels like both teams are at a crossroads, and whoever wins this Battle of Alberta might be the team that gets 4th place, or maybe we'll see. We'll see what happens. It should be fascinating, right? And then the final game of the night starts at 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific, because it's in California. California's got these 7:30 starts, and I've never been a huge fan of the 7:30 starts because it does mean that I'm doing this video now at 11:30 at night instead of at 11. And we'll see how it goes. Vegas and San Jose again. Vegas now 15-4-1 off to the best 20-game start to a season they've ever had. It is 4 years, but still it's impressive. 8-11-2 record now. No, 8-10-3 record for San Jose. Let me just go ahead and change that. It's 8-10-3. I actually cheated a bit, and I put the records up here before the Vegas game was over. So I figured, well, San Jose is going to lose this in regulation. Then they lost in overtime. So they're 8-10-3. Over their last 10, Vegas is 7-3. San Jose is 3-5-2. So San Jose just, the effort's there. The heart's there. I just don't know that they're going to be able to make up that gap between them and teams above them in this division. Kolasar has been notable for Vegas. Another one of those guys I'm not going to talk about in review videos with goals and points. He's had 3 assists. He's done a very good job on the 4th line. Haig, 2 goals and 6 assists. Very solid run for him as a young defenseman for Vegas. And on the San Jose side, Rudolph Balcers, because 11 games, 2 goals, 4 assists. The offense has dropped off. I'm not expecting a lot from him, but still, 6 points isn't too shabby. And then Knizhov. Knizhov with 2 assists so far. Knizhov, I'm not mentioning him in reviews either, but the defensive side of the game, I think he's been very good. And I think the future's pretty bright for him. I don't know how much offensive upside's there, but with defensemen, that can be tough to call this early in their career. All right, there you go. Let me know your winners in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And Arizona, stop losing wearing the Space Coyote jersey, because that means we won't get it back. So stop losing wearing the Space Coyote. I'm serious. I want to wear a Space Coyote jersey for a review, and I can't wear a video for or a jersey for a review of a team that didn't win. And they never win when they wear the Space Coyote. So win wearing the Space Coyote so everybody can be happy. Thank you guys so much for all your support. I'll talk to you again soon.